Вітаю, друзі!
Greetings, friends. This briefing is dedicated to a new batch of lies and propaganda of the aggressor state, which uses this information weapon to influence public opinion both inside Russia itself and abroad, including Ukraine. In recent weeks, we have been dealing with the mass information and psychological special operation of Russia, which through various channels is spreading rumors about allegedly large-scale offensive against Ukraine, which will take place in the coming hours, days or weeks. The war has been going on for almost a year, and Russia is not taking any offensive actions in this war, so any reports about a new offensive have only one purpose: to influence the minds of Ukrainians in order to cause panic in society. And this war will certainly end with the victory of Ukraine. If we talk about mass fakes and throw-ins carried out by the aggressor state, then let's talk about how Russia is once again trying to shift responsibility to Ukraine for the war crimes it commits. In particular, we are talking about a missile attack on the city of Kramatorsk, as a result of which civilian infrastructure was destroyed. As in the case of the attack on the railway station in Kramatorsk at the beginning of last year, Russia is now again placing responsibility on Ukraine, claiming that the houses were allegedly destroyed as a result of the fall of Ukrainian air defense missiles. Then it was established that the houses were hit by a Russian Iskander-Ka missile. I quote Telegram channel Radovka. In Kramatorsk, an air defense missile of the Ukrainian army again hit a residential building. 2 people became victims of the tragedy. 7 more were injured. Emergency crews are currently on the scene. This message is a lie. The information spread by Russia is false. But at the same time, Russia does not stop trying to shift responsibility, and in addition to blaming Ukraine, now a new version of Russia Today channel is a self-proclaimed Russian expert who claims that America is allegedly involved in these attacks on Ukraine, in which Russia is then blamed, and in particular Central Intelligence Agency, CIA. I quote, "Intelligence, CIA, is behind most of the information sabotage and provocations of the special services of Ukraine. Their authorship from the preparation of information to start of a hybrid hysteria can be seen both in provocation in Bucha and during the strike by the Ukrainian missile .u on the railway station in Kramatorsk. Of course, this is a lie, and it is Russia that is responsible for these crimes in both Bucha and Kramatorsk. But the fact that they are already trying to expand the number of the guilty and on whom they shift their responsibility, of course, only causes surprise. After all, the more versions there are, the less faith in what Russia itself claims. Next, Russia continues its search for talking heads who would, as if on behalf of the expert community or world politicians, condemn the transfer of modern weapons to Ukraine. This time they found a deputy from a marginal party who in the German Bundestag opposed the supply of weapons to Ukraine. We are talking about Stefan Kotra, who said on Solovyov's broadcast, I quote, "German citizens do not support the supply of weapons to Ukraine. Most of them, journalists and the media, are doing everything to make German society opposed to Russia. I am horrified that German tanks are again being supplied to kill the Russians." Well, the rest of the thesis has become typical for Russian propaganda. Shards of it are repeatedly moaning from the voices of both anonymous and public Russian Telegram channels. If you look at who the mentioned MP Stefan Kotra is, he represents the Alternative for Germany party, which is not in power, which represents isolationists and conspiracy theorist circles, and he himself has been repeatedly criticized by his own colleagues in the Bundestag for giving an interview to a Russian propagandist Solovyov and promoting informational narratives beneficial to Russia there. In addition to this deputy, the so-called Swedish expert Lars Bern joined the campaign of fakes, who allegedly declared that there is no need to support Ukraine because Russia is demilitarizing NATO, supposedly destroying NATO weapons on the battlefield in Ukraine. The publicist said that NATO voluntarily disposes of its weapons, supplying them to Ukraine. In fact, if you look at who the mentioned expert is, as he calls himself Bern, he is a person who spreads conspiracy theories that are not confirmed by anything, including fakes, and regularly visits the right-wing YouTube channel in Sweden, which also spreads conspiracy theories that benefit Russia in this information war. Among the things he rejects, likewise, for example, climate change, which is already obvious to everyone on this planet. Another fake that Russia tried to carry out by throwing into the media space is a supposed letter that was addressed to the Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces of Ukraine Zaluzhny from the commander of the Air Command Center Krivonoshka about the fact that the Puma Airbus helicopter, the crash of which killed the leadership of the Ministry of Internal Affairs, years, that he was allegedly shot down with an e-glam and pads by the Ukrainian military themselves. It was easy to find out that this document is a fake if you look at the initials of the signatory. He is listed as Krivonoshko A.N., while in Ukrainian he should be Anatoly Mykolaievich, that is A.M. And this ignorance of the Ukrainian language once again fails Russian propagandists in spreading their lies. Well, at the end of the briefing there is one more piece of news that is direct result of Yermak-Makfol group created here in the president's office to extend restrictions and punishments not only to Russian politicians, but also to propagandists. Therefore, in Germany, the work of the propaganda mouthpiece Russia Today has been stopped. That is, the Russian media, which is registered under the laws of Germany, is the German division of Russia Today. It announced the termination of its broadcasting, and this was made public on the TV channel's website, as a result of the fact that this company, this media, got its accounts blocked. As a result of the fact that this company, this media, got its account blocked of inclusion of the 9th sanctions package of the European Union, which was repeatedly emphasized by Yermak-Makfol Sanctions Group, demanding punishment for propagandists. This concludes the briefing. The traditional appeal is not to believe the propagandists, not to trust their information and psychological special operations. Trust only the Ukrainian media, telethon, local authorities, military and political leadership of Ukraine. See you.